Is your brilliant business idea doomed to fail because you cannot code? Well, that is a load of garbage. The billion-dollar empire we know today as Shopify started exactly like that. A guy who wanted to sell snowboards online but had zero interest in the terrible e-commerce options available at the time. This is not just a story about a little snowboard shop. It is a masterclass in turning your biggest frustration into your greatest success. So, picture this. It is the mid-2000s. The internet is a thing, but selling stuff on it? It is a nightmare. Imagine trying to build a website using something as clunky and outdated as a fax machine. That was the reality for Tobias Lütke, a German programmer who had moved to Canada. He loved snowboarding and wanted to start an online store called Snowdevil with his friends. The problem? Every single e-commerce platform out there was a convoluted mess. They were either ridiculously expensive, painfully ugly, or required you to sacrifice your firstborn to the coding gods just to list a product. Did Tobias throw his hands up and just open a physical store? Did he resign himself to selling snowboards out of the back of his car? No. He did something far more powerful. He got angry. He looked at the dumpster fire that was early e-commerce software and thought, seriously? I can do better than this. And that right there is your first major lesson. Your greatest business idea might not be the initial product you want to sell. It might be the solution to the infuriating problem that is stopping you from selling it. What is the one tool you wish you had right now that does not exist? Think about that. That frustration is not a roadblock. It is a signpost pointing you toward a massive opportunity. So, Tobias, being the clever programmer he was, decided to build his own e-commerce platform from scratch. He used a framework called Ruby on Rails, which was pretty new and exciting back then. He spent a couple of months locked away, fueled by passion and probably a lot of coffee, and emerged with a clean, elegant, and functional online store for Snowdevil. It worked. They were selling snowboards. Mission accomplished, right? Time to kick back and enjoy being the coolest online snowboard retailers in Ottawa. Well, not quite. Something strange started to happen. Other entrepreneurs and developers saw the Snowdevil website, and they were not just interested in the snowboards, they were obsessed with the website itself. People started messaging Tobias asking, "What are you using for your store? Can I use it too?" This is where the story gets really interesting. Tobias and his partners were making decent money selling snowboards, but they were getting flooded with requests for the software that ran the store. And here is lesson number 2, and it is a big one. Pay attention to what people are asking for, not just what you are trying to sell them. The market has a funny way of telling you what it truly wants. Snowdevil was the product, but the platform was the demand. They were sitting on a gold mine and did not even realize it at first. How many of you are so focused on pushing your main thing that you are completely ignoring a side project or a service that people are practically begging you for? Sometimes, your most valuable asset is the one you built for yourself just to get the job done. After a couple of years of selling snowboards, they made a massive decision. In 2006, they shut down Snowdevil. Yes, you heard that right. They closed their successful snowboard store. Why? To go all in on the software. They took the platform they built for themselves, polished it up, and named it Shopify. The mission changed from selling stuff online to helping everyone else sell stuff online. This was a huge pivot. It was risky. It meant abandoning a proven business model for an unproven one. This brings us to our third crucial lesson. Do not be afraid to pivot. Do not fall so in love with your original idea that you ignore an even bigger opportunity staring you in the face. The world is not static. Markets change, customer needs evolve, and sometimes the best move you can make is to completely change direction. It takes courage to kill your darlings. But as the Shopify story shows, it can be the single most important decision you ever make. Are you clinging to an old idea out of stubbornness, or are you truly serving the market's biggest need? Be honest with yourself. Now, launching Shopify was not an instant trip to Billionaire Island. They needed money. But when they went to venture capitalists, they were basically laughed out of the room. The VCs in Silicon Valley did not get it. A software company based in Ottawa, Canada, run by a guy who sells snowboards, using Ruby on Rails? No thanks. They could not see the vision. So what did Tobias and his co-founders do? Did they give up? Of course not. They bootstrapped. They used the revenue from their first few customers and a whole lot of personal grit to keep the company alive. And here is your actionable tip number 4. You do not always need venture capital. This obsession with getting funding can sometimes be a distraction. Focus on building a product so good that customers are willing to pay for it. Customer revenue is the best kind of funding there is. It validates your idea and gives you freedom. Shopify was built on the back of real paying customers, not just investor hype. That foundation made them incredibly resilient. As Shopify grew, they kept this solve the merchant's problem mindset at their core. They did not just offer a platform, they built an ecosystem. They launched the Shopify App Store, which was a genius move. Why try to build every single feature yourself when you can let thousands of other developers build them for you? This allowed merchants to customize their stores with everything from email marketing tools to inventory management systems. It turned a simple product into a powerful, flexible platform. The lesson here is profound. Think in ecosystems, not just products. How can you empower others to build on top of what you have created? How can you create a community around your brand? By opening up their platform, Shopify created a win-win-win situation. Merchants got more tools, developers got a new market to sell to, and Shopify became the indispensable hub at the center of it all. It is a strategy that has been a cornerstone of their growth into the powerhouse it is in 2025. So let us recap. What can we, as aspiring entrepreneurs and creators, learn from the origin of Shopify? First, your biggest frustration is often your best business idea. Do not run from problems, solve them. Second, listen to your market. It will tell you what it wants if you are paying attention. Your customers might see more value in your how than your what. Third, have the courage to pivot. Your initial idea is just a starting point, not the final destination. Fourth, focus on building a great product that people will pay for. Customer revenue is more valuable than investor cash, especially early on. And finally, build an ecosystem, not just a product. Empower others, and you will build a much stronger, more resilient business. The story of Shopify is not about some magical moment of genius. It is a story about a practical problem, a clever solution, and the relentless focus on helping other people succeed. Tobias Lütke did not set out to build a multi-billion-dollar company. He just wanted to sell some snowboards. By solving his own problem, he ended up solving it for millions of others. And that right there is the secret sauce. So, what problem are you going to solve today? Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the businesses that shape our world. Drop a comment below with the biggest frustration in your industry. Who knows, it might just be your Shopify moment. See you in the next one.